Okay, so now that we have our Elastic IP, we have our EC2 instance running. Let's say we lose the server, we terminate it. So we would lose all of our configuration. So if we wanted to bake this AMI to save it for later, what we'd have to do is go and create an image. So to do that, we go to the top here and we go to images and templates, and we can create an image, or we can create a template, which is a lot better. But for the time being, we're going to go ahead and create an image. And when you create an image, you're basically creating an AMI. And so here, I'm just going to say my EC2. And I'm going to go 000 to just kind of like number it. So that's a very common numbering. Just do 3 zeros and then increment by 1. And so here I can just say my Apache server. And so it's going to save some settings like the fact that there is a volume. You could save some tags there. And so I might go ahead and add a tag and just say name. And we'll just say my EC2 server, or so that it remembers that. Okay. And then what we'll do is go ahead and create our image. And so this can take a little bit of time. If we go over to images here, it's going to be spinning for a while, and we'll just wait until it's done, okay? All right, so after waiting a little while here, our AMI is ready, so we're just waiting for it to go available. If you do not see it, just make sure you hit the refresh, because sometimes AWS will just spin forever, and so that's just something you'll have to do. So, hopefully that makes sense. What we'll do is go make our way back over to instances here, and we can launch one this way. Well, actually, we can do it over from the AMI page. So what I'm going to do is just terminate this instance. We're all done with it. Okay, and we'll hit terminate. It's totally fine. And it had a message about Elastic IPs, about releasing them. So when it does that, the Elastic IP is still over here. So it did not release it. So what we're going to do is go ahead and disassociate the Elastic IP. Okay, and then we're also going to release the IP address, because if we don't, we're going to have this IP address that's sticking around that we're not using. AWS is going to charge us $1 month over month. So just be aware of those, because that's just kind of like a hidden cost there. But what we're going to do is go over to AMI, and we're going to select it here. We're going to go to Actions, and we're going to go ahead and Launch. And what it's going to do is make us fill out all this other stuff again. So if you had made a launch template, we wouldn't have to fill out all this stuff. It'd be part of it, but that's what I'm trying to show you with this AMI stuff. So instead of filling out all this, what I'm going to do is now go create a launch template, just to kind of show you that that would be a much easier way to work. So we go over to EC2 instances, and then on the left-hand side, we're looking for a launch template. Launch configurations is the old thing. Launch templates, here we go. So what we'll do is create ourselves a launch template. We'll just say my Apache server. And then down below, we need to choose our AMI. So we're going to go here, and we need to type it in. So what did we call it? My EC2. I really don't like this search here. It's very slow and frustrating, but once we find it, whoops, that's why I don't like it, because a lot of times it'll be loading and you'll end up clicking the wrong thing. Okay, so, I don't like this. Okay, we'll type in my. Give it a second. There it is. And just wait, because it will keep loading. And then once it's loaded, hit enter. And so it has that instance selected. And then from there, don't include it in the launch template. So here we could be explicit. I would say I want this to be a T2 micro, but we could exclude it if we wanted to. We could specify the key pair here. Not that we really want to use key pairs. We'll say my EC2 instance. Then down here for the networking, we can specify that security group we created. So we created one here called my EC2SG. Storage is fine. It's going to be encrypted. Network interface is fine. Advanced details. What I want to do is set the IAM instance profile. That's really important, because we don't want to have to figure out that role every single time. So we'll put that there. And that should be everything. And we could put user data in there, but it's already baked into our AMI, so we don't have to worry about anything. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and create this launch template. And then we're going to view this launch template. And so now what we can do is then use it to launch an instance. Okay. And so we're going to look here, and it's very similar to DC2, but except it's vertical. So we're going to have one instance. It's going to use that AMI, that instance type, so you can see how you can override them, which is nice. We're going to check the advanced details and make sure that IAM profile is set, and we'll go ahead and launch this from a template. So from there, we can go ahead and click the instance value there. And just be aware that when you do click through links like that, you'll end up with a search. So I was just checkbox that off so I can see what I'm doing. And so we're just waiting for this instance to show up. And the only thing I noticed is it didn't set our darn tags. So I wanted the name in there. And I think it's because we set it in the AMI, but it didn't carry over to the launch template. So I'd have to go back to the launch template and update it probably. So if I go into here, into the launch template, we can probably modify, create a new version, and then add tags there. So we'd say name, my Apache server. I realize I'm changing it between them. And so that should allow us to have a version 2. So we'll create that. But anyway, that will be for the next time we launch it, okay? And so this instance is running. I'm going to go grab the IP address. The server may or may not be ready. We'll take a look here. And so it's just spinning. If it's spinning, it's either the server is not ready or our port's not open. So it was just getting ready to work there. So it is working now. So that is our launch template. So now, we don't have to worry about losing our stuff. And if we need to make new versions, we can just bake new AMIs and increment them and attach them as new versions of that launch template, okay?